We are back at it once again right here on the barbershop. We got a lot to talk about. It's less than, I believe, a week till we get to the NFL draft. And I got a lot to talk about. We did a Bleacher Report kind of mock draft. I think some scenarios could play out the same way a little bit, how it played out in our mock draft. I, of course, was choosing for the Cleveland Browns. We'll show you that footage if you haven't seen it. And we'll talk about why that's going to be something that is going to be a really big thing for the Cleveland Browns, because I think that can actually transpire on draft night. We'll talk about that. We'll get to Andrew Berry talking about Travis Hunter. I think Travis Hunter has become the overall, I would say, the guy in the clubhouse when it comes to having the ability to be one of those special guys and somebody that we think is going to get drafted by the Cleveland Browns. So I think right now in the clubhouse, he is the guy. So when we get back, we'll talk about that a little bit as well. And we'll talk about getting people prepared for what does it mean when you do have a Travis Hunter. How does that think?
There's a problem with your mic.
Check this. Apparently, there's something wrong with my mic, but we'll get to it. Hold on.
Seems like it's not in that.
Let's see.
You didn't. You might not set up the mic that you got.
Should be good. Sound is off. Let me see. Let's get this fixed.
Need some help?
There we go. I think I should be good, though. Y'all let me know if that's better. We back cooking. You know, I can't handle. Yeah. Here we go. We back at it again. Let's get it going, man. We started a little slow, but we back at it. Let's get right back to it. You know, we got to have the crispy microphone. We got to have the crispy sound. We can't be out here sounding like we in the bathroom somewhere. That's not what we do right here in the barbershop. But like you said, what we're going to do is we're talking about trade back scenarios in the first round. We'll talk about that. We will get to Travis Hunter, what that means for the Cleveland Browns, and warming guys up and let them know this is how Travis Hunter is going to act. This is how we're going to move with him. We'll do that coming up coming up here in the show as well. And we will hear from Andrew Berry in terms of what's going on with the Cleveland Browns and what he said about Travis Hunter, which I think has a lot to say about what the Browns are going to do. We will come back and get to all of this when we get to this episode of the barbershop. Let's get right into it. We back at it again. Welcome back on in. 115 people in here right now. Hit that like button for your boy G. Bush in here, back ready to go. We are talking all things Browns. We're going to get into the Cleveland Browns. We're going to get into the draft. And we're going to talk about what it is that we need to get to. But before we can do that, let's get to some commentary here a little bit with Andrew Berry. Andrew Berry talked about Travis Hunter. I think this is a scenario that we might get to where I do believe the Cleveland Browns will move back into the first round. And before we do that, I want to get you, let me see if I can set this up, because we did a mock draft on the Bleacher Report. And this was something that I did when everyone, I do a podcast for the Bleacher Report. And what they did is a lot of those individuals, 32 teams, we had a 32-team mock draft. And this is what I did. The Cleveland Browns made moves early. So let's go ahead and show you what I did coming into this mock draft so you guys can see what I think might play out if you look at it at other places. Here we go.
What is going on, guys? Nate LaJoy here with Bleacher Report for our second annual Creator Mock Draft. This is like Christmas in the springtime for NFL fans. The draft is 1 week away, kicks off in Green Bay next Thursday. But today, we have 32 teams represented by 32 creators. If you were here last year, you know exactly how it goes. Each member makes the picks for their teams. If you weren't here last year, welcome. You are going to have a great time. Now, the NFL draft obviously kicks off with the Tennessee Titans with the number 1 overall selection, followed by the Browns, Giants, Patriots, and Jaguars in the top 5. The rest of the top 10, the Raiders, Jets, Panthers, Saints, and Chicago Bears. Really looking to improve on what has been a great offseason so far for Chicago. Now we have 11 through 15 represented by San Francisco and Dallas all the way down. But when you look at that 24th overall pick, you see the Cleveland Browns. Why are the Browns there? The creators made a draft trade. Last year, we didn't open up the draft trades. This year, we do. There's bound to be some craziness with these teams represented. But that being said, I say we take it to Minnesota and Cleveland to talk to these guys about why they made this deal. Let's start with the Cleveland Browns, who are moving back into the first round for their second selection of 2025.
Well, the Deshaun Watson deal, came back to bite us a little bit. The ownership has talked about that. They've talked about how much draft capital we put in, 3 first-round picks. We have been without a first-round pick for 3 years, and now we have an opportunity right now to be drafting at number 2. We wanted to be aggressive. We struck out the first time aggressively. We're going to have to be aggressive to get ourselves out of this hole. And getting in back in the first round gives us an opportunity to take advantage of either the running back market, which we feel is very strong, or possibly getting a quarterback late in the first round if one of those guys we have high on our board falls to number 24.
And now talking to the Minnesota Vikings, who made the deal, getting picks 33, 67, and 179. Really, in my opinion, a good haul for the 24th overall selection.
Yeah, it's not a big secret that the Vikings only have 4 picks going into this draft. So it was obvious that we wanted to make some sort of trade back. That was my main goal going into the draft. I think in general, a lot of Viking fans are hoping that you see the Vikings kind of make some sort of trade back. And still at 24 for our positions of need, there's no one there that I know for a fact's going to be there. And I kind of feel like if around pick 24 is going to be his position where I might have overdraft someone anyways. So I wanted to get back. And I think getting 67, which is basically a second round pick, was exactly what we were looking for.
All right. Thank you guys so much. Vikings, we might talk to you later in the draft. Cleveland, we will be coming to you shortly. But without further ado, let's get right back to the Tennessee Titans.
So what you guys can hear right there is me talking and going through the process of being on the clock with Andrew Berry, being on the clock as the Browns general manager. And you go back and you look at exactly what I gave up to get there. Pick number 33 is where the Cleveland Browns are today. You definitely have an opportunity to see that in that scenario, you give up 67, you give up 179 in the draft, you're able to move up to 24. I will play later on in this clip. We'll give you an opportunity to see exactly who I took at 24 and the way that the board kind of dropped to certain people, right? So this is the scenario. It's kind of a good idea, or it's kind of a good look to see in terms of how this thing really kind of plays out. I think the Bleacher Report did a really good job of doing this, because some of the scenarios in which you are really realistic of how things move. So in my thought process right here, listen, we're being aggressive, and this is what I want the Cleveland Browns to do, period. This is where I want the Cleveland Browns to be, because you look at the scenario, you say, okay, I got 24. I moved up with the Minnesota Vikings, and what you were able to do with that, you're able to guarantee your thing one or two ways. A lot of people believe that everybody's going to fall to them. They'll fall. I got the guys on my big board. They'll fall to me. They'll get there. Don't worry about it, G. Bush. Don't even put too much time and energy into it. Nah, that's not the way that works. That's not the way it works. You gotta move and maneuver and get where you want to go. And if you think that your quarterback or a running back is going to fall to you automatically, that's not truthful. I think the Browns have to be aggressive at the top of this draft. If you look at it, I think they do. When you watch the pick I took,
you'll see how everybody else kind of moves. The Browns are the pivot point. If the Browns take Travis Hunter at number 2, and then the Giants choose to pass on Shedeur Sanders, that's where a lot of stuff starts to happen, right? Or if they don't take Shedeur Sanders and they go up and you know, they go get Abdul Carter, things are still going to maneuver a certain way. What I wanted to do is I wanted to be able to be on the board at the end of the first round, knowing that I could get my quarterback that I wanted, or knowing that I had an opportunity to get the best running back that's still available on the board in the back of that as well. So those are some of the things that we took a look at in the way the draft played out. I'm going to play it right now and give you an opportunity to check this out. This is the next 2 picks. The Tennessee Titans are on the board right here. They're on the board, and they are going to be picking right now. And so what we'll do is we'll get let you see that, as well as get to the situation where we take Travis Hunter with the 2nd overall pick. Let's go ahead and throw that back up. All right. There we go.
The number 1 overall selection in the 2025 draft. They have been looking for a franchise quarterback for years now. Do they finally get him? What do you have?
So, yes, we're in a situation where we need a franchise quarterback for sure. If you look at our team, look at the fact that, you know, we have a lot of holes on this team. The biggest hole is at quarterback. And there's been a lot of discussion of Shedeur Sanders, Cam Ward, and those things. So I do have my card. I do got my draft card. That's available right here. I know everyone is waiting and wanted to understand where we are. I've had several people that thrown some trades my way. And you know what I did with those trades? I nixed them all. I said no to everybody. I said, look, the Tennessee Titans, we need a franchise player. We definitely have a new stadium that's being built as well. So without further ado, the Tennessee Titans, for the 2025 NFL draft, the Tennessee Titans selects Miami quarterback Cameron Anthony Ward out of the University of Miami. Welcome to Nashville. Cam is a quarterback, 4,300 yards last season. He's the NCAA all-time leading touchdown quarterback in the nation and in his career. This guy here, 39 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. This guy was a playmaker, man. And in the NFL, you just don't need a quarterback to sit in the pocket and count the flies that's in the air. You need a quarterback that can just do that and also move around the field as well. Cam Ward fulfills that position. The Tennessee Titans have had struggles at quarterback for many years. We were a 3-win football team last year. We were number 8. We only scored 18 points a game, 198 yards passing last year. As you know, that's not going to get it done. We get Cameron Ward. Welcome to Nashville, Cameron Ward. We got Cam Ward. Pick 1. Welcome.
So the Titans obviously very, very excited about the potential to get Cam Ward. He's the over. Browns trading back into the first round to number 24.
Here we go.
This is by far their more important pick. What do you think the Browns are going to do, and who are you going to take at number 2?
Well, I think the draft starts right here. A lot of teams will be lining up behind us to figure out what they're going to do after we make this pick. But quarterback is a need on our board as well. Cam Ward, obviously, in our evaluation, was the top guy on the board. So we looked at a lot of different quarterbacks, and we did not have that big of a difference between some of our second-tier prospects like Shedeur Sanders. We've evaluated Tyler Shuck and some of those other guys, and even the guys later in Will Howard. We don't have that big of a gap on those guys. So when Cam Ward is off the board, we took our pick, ran to the podium, and we took what we believe is the best player in the draft. And we throw the word generation around a lot, but this guy might be it. We're going to take Travis Hunter, wide receiver and defensive back out of the University of Colorado.
Interesting pick. Now, I know there's a lot of speculation around this pick in general. A ton of speculation. But Travis Hunter, you said the word generational. I don't like using that word either. But this guy on both sides of the ball in college was tremendous. Heisman Trophy winner. Is not really that big of a player. 6 foot 188, like you see on your screen. But he makes things happen on both sides of the football. Abdul Carter, also another guy that's really rumored to be selected with this pick. I guess we'll see where they go in real life, but you can't really complain getting one of the best talents we've seen coming out of the draft in the last few years. Now, let's say.
So as you can see with that, as you check that out, that is a scenario to me that could definitely play out the same way it just played out right there. You take a look at Travis Hunter being there later on in the draft. I'll get to what I did, on the big board, coming up with that 24 pick. But that's something that I would like to see the Cleveland Browns do. It's a scenario in which we talk about. What I want to do is, usually I don't really get to the questions this early, but let's get to them. I want to get your thoughts on what it is of that pick. I want to get your ideas on the trade that was just made. And I want to get an idea, was it too much? Super chats is available. Let me know. Was what I did too much, or was that right in the middle of what you think it would take to get back into the first round in this little exercise? So we'll go ahead and go to the comment section. We'll give you guys an opportunity to opine on that. If you guys did not see it in the beginning, what I did is I moved up from pick number 33. I moved up to 24. I traded a third round pick 67. I also traded I believe it was a 6th round pick. I think it was a 197. Pick 197 in this year's draft to go up with the Minnesota Vikings at number 24. And you'll see later on, after we get to these comments, what was available at 24 with that as well. Let me get to you guys. Let's see. Let me see. Skinner, Alistair says at 24, you can get a running back. Yeah, you can. You can get that. Those who are whining this year or whenever doesn't matter, bring up that Rebirth Browns didn't win 100 games until 2019. So the Browns will reach that to McLaughlin. You believe Travis Hunter is a reach at 2? I'm trying to figure this out now. That's what you're saying? Barry Love, Hunter, and Milroe is only long-winded and so specific about them and short and business standard with all the other prospects. We will get to some of that Andrew Barry conversation when we talk about some of these prospects as well, so we can get there. Dr. Magi said, all I care about is not drafting Brandon Whedon Jr. That is Tyler Shook, huh? We not a Tyler Shook fan. Can Hunter get separation in the NFL? Can Milroe actually become accurate? Throws a lot of interceptions. I don't know. See, this is the thing. We're gonna talk about Travis Hunter. This gets me about Travis Hunter is because when I watch him, I see one thing, and then when people describe him, I don't understand how they are describing the same things that I'm actually seeing. Travis Hunter has been super dynamic every single game that I've seen him. Travis Hunter was super dynamic in high school when I seen him. He was super dynamic when he was at Jackson State. He was super dynamic at Colorado. My thing is, I get that the NFL is a certain thing, but we always knew Jamar Chase was good. I knew Jamar Chase was good. It just was what it was. People knew Justin Jefferson was pretty good, right? But now all of a sudden it's just like, oh, well, we don't know if Travis Hunter's that guy or not. Let's see. Jenkins and the Drummers. We need to just stick and pick. No need to overhaul this roster with new talent. 4 picks need to be an offensive weapons. Let's see. Sarah says, I hope my Vikings trade down with you guys. I would love to be right there. I like to get that. A lot of people's echoing that. Home of the Duke and Nyla. Home of the Duke and Nyla. I like that. We like that. This running back class is so deep, we can find a good starter in the 3rd or 4th round. I agree with that. Travis Hunter has never played against NFL level talent. Bro, who has? So when we get to this, thank you so much for people coming on in. By the way, hit the like button for me, bro. Who has played? Like, it's crazy because Travis Hunter is not It's not like any other prospect. Like I get the fact that people are like, oh, he hasn't played against some talent, but who has in this draft? I don't understand how that critique doesn't go for every single player round 1 through 7. Nobody has played against NFL talent yet. Not Cam Ward, not Abdul Carter, not Travis Hunter. Nobody has. Zero Ashton Genty. Nobody has game tape. But that's not what we're talking about. We talk about projecting. And think about this, if Travis Hunter was the number, how crazy is this to project? If Travis Hunter was the number 1 player in high school, he just won the Heisman Trophy as the best player in college, why all of a sudden we're going to act like he's garbage in the pros? I don't get it. I don't get it. Let's see. I think the Titans is rolling with Hunter. And if the Titans roll with Hunter, I'm going to get Cam Ward. That's the way the draft works. That's the way love goes. Sapper Daddy, I don't know about Travis Hunter, your ability to translate to the pro league. But hey, listen. Let me see. Halim, I appreciate you. When this dude from Tennessee talks, you just appreciate Garrett as much more. These fools aren't in the same ballpark. Look, man, hey, shout out to all the creators out there in the Bleacher Report. It's levels to this. And I'm gonna tell you this: just like I talk about it being levels to this thing, there's levels with Travis Hunter. There are. At 24, you guys could get a solid defensive player too. Now, that is a great observation, because what I'm doing, and here's what I'm doing when I'm showing you this stuff. I'm just showing you something because I think it's a good exercise to see how the field can fall. I like doing mock drafts in real time because when somebody takes your guy off the board, you got to scramble. You better find somebody to take. Like, the clock is ticking. Let's get back into it, and you guys can get an opportunity to see who I took. Let me get my video to the place where, let me see, where we at? Where we at? Where was I at on the clock? Where we at on the clock? Yeah, we want to get you. Oh, here we go. G. Bush back on the clock right here. G. Bush back on the clock right here. Let me get this together. This is terrible TV, by the way. Terrible TV. 205. Okay, here we go. Let's get back into this thing. I'm going to show you what we actually did with that 24 pick. And you tell me how you grade the trade. Because I think we did all right for ourselves with what we got at 24. But you be the judge for that. Like I always say, man, make it your own. Hey, come up with your own ideas. So let's go ahead and get to that and show you how it paid off. How it paid off. Here we go.
After selecting.
I wish HR had fancy AI agents. You do. We all do. Everyone does. HR, customer service, field service. Sign it.
Number 2 overall, Travis Hunter. Who are they taking at number 24?
When you see a car, you can find it on Auto Trader. Even my TV detective car.
You're going to play every commercial possible. That's why you don't do screen share. Well, this is easy money. We was waiting there. We was nervous for a second because Pittsburgh could have took this guy off the board, but they chose Jalen Milroe. We're gonna go. Listen, we're going back to the Kevin Stefanski playbook. We about to run this football. We're gonna run play action through it. Jerry Jeudy had a breakout year last year. We already got who we feel is the best player in the draft, Travis Hunter, who's a two-way star already. Get the jerseys ready. Listen, we running in with the pick at quarterback from Ole Miss, Jackson Dart, with pick number 24, and we'll redshirt him. He'll sit behind Joe Flacco. We'll even play Kenny Pickett. We'll put that red shirt on him and be ready to go in 26.
What a quarterback room that is. Deshaun Watson, Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, and now Jackson Dart. A lot of people very, very high on Dart. This is sort of a polarizing quarterback draft class, honestly. A lot of people, I think Cam Ward, the consensus number 1, Some people are higher than others on Sanders. Some people are higher than others on Jackson Dart. I guess we'll have to wait and see how it all pans out. But Cleveland has been in a weird situation at quarterback ever since making, that that fateful trade for Deshaun Watson 2 seasons ago. But Dart, you can't argue with his production in college. Guy went 29 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, completed almost 70% of his passes for 4,279 yards. First team All-SEC last year, Gator Bowl MVP last year as well. I think I like the pick. It really is an insurance policy going forward at the quarterback position, assuming Deshaun Watson can't figure it out, assuming Joe Flacco's not going to be there for more than a year or two, maybe. But a very solid pick at that. Now, the AFC North, man, I'll tell you right now, 2 quarterbacks selected. Pittsburgh takes Jalen Milroe, 21. Cincinnati and Baltimore obviously have their franchise guys. But can Jackson Dart be the franchise guy for Cleveland going forward? Cincinnati, your thoughts?
I'm on the fence on this one. If it had been another franchise that doesn't have a history of ruining quarterbacks, then maybe I might feel a certain type of way. But watching them select them, it just feels different. I don't know. He talked about Stefanski. Who knows if Stefanski will even be there or how long he'll be there? We don't know. So I just don't know unless it's like the number one, like a Cam Ward or somebody.
See, listen, I'm letting y'all hear this so you can hear the other hating people's voice. This is what they think about you in these other cities. I'm letting you do this so you can understand where the hate is coming from. Now, listen, he has a right. The Bengals dude has a right. He's like, listen, I like Jackson Dart, but is he going to be a dude that Kevin Stefanski can really make something out of? And we haven't seen that so far. So I give him credit for that. I wasn't salty at that.
I just don't think it's possible. Until I see it, I think at that spot, that's a good spot to get him, whether it was him or Milroe. I think that's the perfect spot to go get a quarterback that, doesn't have top 5 potential. And I mean, it is what it is. And then it's up to you to coach him and put him in the best spots possible.
That being said, and, I've brought up a few poor draft picks in the past on this stream so far, but the last time the Browns took an SEC quarterback around 24, we all remember what happened there. Baltimore, what are your thoughts about this draft choice?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not as high on Jackson Dart as others, but I think that, again, it's exactly a quarterback if you're going to do it. I think it is a perfect trade up scenario for Cleveland because this is the area where teams are going to want to trade up. And so if you want to sit Jackson Dart for a year behind guys like Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett, again, that's what I think should be done with quarterbacks in this range instead of putting them in, okay, you got to go out there and perform. It lessens the expectations. It allows them to learn. There are a lot of good players still on the board here. So again, if Cleveland believes in Jackson Dart and that's their guy, then I'm okay with it. But I think that there are some other ways Cleveland could have gone with this selection. I like Jalen Milroe there. Obviously, Pittsburgh snuck up and took him before Cleveland got the opportunity. But I think that this is the range you'll probably see the rest of the quarterbacks go off the board, and all these other teams are going to have to turn their attention to Tyler Shuck and others.
See, that's it. So we're not even going to tell you about the Pittsburgh guy. We ain't going to give you no time for the Pittsburgh dude. But what we're looking at is this. In that specific scenario at 21, in that specific scenario, the Pittsburgh Steelers drafted Jalen Milroe, which was 3 picks higher. So you look at it, at that point in the draft, Shedeur Sanders had already gone early. Jalen Milroe, who is a guy who it has I would say the tantalizing skill set in terms of being electric and guys wanting to jump up to take him. And then you get to the back of the draft where you have, I think after that, Tyler Shuck goes off the board, and a lot of the guys start going off the board in succession. So when you're at 24, if I wouldn't have gotten at 24, not only would I have not gotten Jalen Milroe, I would have not got Jackson Dart. Shedeur Sanders was gone. Tyler Shuck was out of here, and you would have been looking at the Will Howards and things like that. And to me, taking Will Howard at 33 was way too risky for my blood. We'll put it down like that. Hey, let's get to your comments and what you guys think about it. What are your thoughts about the trade now? You end up coming up in this mock draft, particularly. You end up with Travis Hunter as your receiver, defensive back. You also end up with your quarterback of the future. You already have Joe Flacco. If you don't even want to play Jackson Dart, you could put him. You sit him behind him and Kenny Pickett, and now you have your cake and eat it too, so to speak. You still have another third round pick that you can use to grab another running back. And when you get to the fourth round, you can go tight end. So a lot of people saying in succession, you got offense. You got the quarterback. You don't have to rush the quarterback to play. You got Travis Hunter can play offensive defense. You still got a third round pick in which you can get a running back in a class that's very deep. And you can get there's 2 or 3 tight ends that will be there, that are projected to be there, hanging out with you, doing their thing in the fourth round. I like to trade. You let me know how you like to trade with that being said. Let's keep it pushing. Let's see. Fans always overdraft quarterbacks. Milroe will be there in 33. Shuck goes third round. Nobody is drafted a 26-year-old, 3 season-ending injuries in 6 years. Draft gurus and fans get quarterback fever. Well, let me tell you something, Brian Smith. That's what happened when we drafted Brandon Wheaton in the first round. It's not fans who overdraft quarterbacks. It's general managers who overdraft quarterbacks. You don't think so? Go back and look at go back and look at the Will Levises of the world. Go back and look at the Zach Wilsons of the world. Come on, man. If you're new to the channel, what you don't understand is the GMs overdraft quarterback, and rightfully so. Let's keep it a buck. Let me tell you this. If you don't get a quarterback, you're never winning. We've already established that and discussed it. Like, if you plan on getting a quarterback, you go back and look into the annals of time. I think somebody said this. I don't know what guru said this. I was somewhere, and they said, if you go back, no, it was Chris Rose. He said, if you go back and look at all the guys who've been taken in mid-rounds, rounds all over the place, besides the first round, the only 2 or 3 quarterbacks that have ever done something that have been drafted outside of that first round talent has been you got Dak Prescott, and you got the kid for Jalen Hurts from Philadelphia. Besides that, who's really in the last 20 years got taken in the mid rounds that turned into anything? And Brock Purdy. Those were the 3. Brock Purdy, Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott. Those are the guys who've been hitting. And then you got years prior to that, it was Tom Brady. So the thing is, yes, Jalen Milroe is not going to be there at 33. I guarantee you he won't be there at 33. Just like Jackson Dart won't be there at 33. Because you got to look at it like this. If you're the New York Giants, and once we take Travis Hunter, they're probably going to go and take Abdul Carter. Then they still don't have a quarterback, right? But you guess what they're probably doing? They're on the way up. They're looking to trade back up in the same round that you are. You don't think the Raiders look like would trade back in? You don't think the Saints would trade back into the? See, that's the way it works. It may be a little risky for you at 2. It may be risky for you at 10. But by the time you get to the 20s, that's a crapshoot. It's a crapshoot. And here's the thing too. People talk about overdrafting quarterbacks, right? Why don't nobody talk about overdrafting linemen? Like, why is that not a thing? Why? Because we don't pay attention to it. We don't know. Just because you don't know about it don't mean you was right on it. Like, what happened to Mekhi Becton? What happened to Cam Irving? What happened to Danny Shelton? I on this stream, I go down the list of all the people and all the guys and all the time about the people that we've drafted in the trenches that have been garbage. We gloss right over it. And we talk about Johnny Manziel. What about Justin Gilbert? He's sorry, you know what? We gloss right over it. Bro, we be drafting linemen out the wazoo and they be trash. I'm just saying. I hear the Browns have a bad history of quarterbacks argument all the time when someone says they don't like the Browns taking a quarterback. Digman Freud, I like the name. I love it. You're correct. I've come up with a thesis and understood this. The Cleveland Browns, you know, when you grow up and you have dysfunction in your family, maybe you grew up in a house that had issues, or you grew up in a house where you didn't have your parents around, or you grew up in a house where you didn't have many resources and you was always scraping and scrounging. And you grow up in a situation like that, and it shapes the way you perceive certain things. It shapes the way you act. It shapes the way you see the world. You've been through a lot of crap, right? So you see that through a lens. The Cleveland Browns, once they took that team from the Browns in 1995, it changed the way Browns fans even talk to each other. It changes the way they see the game. It changes the exact same way that they even go about watching the game or analyzing the game. At that point, we lost all semblances of understanding what the game of football was and how it evolves and how it needs to change and what they're doing today. We see people that are petrified of taking quarterbacks. We see people that are petrified that they don't want wide receivers. And then every receiver you talk about, there's some sort of flaw. Ask yourself, when you say you want to trade for a receiver, oh, we don't want them. When you say, oh, let's draft this, oh, we don't want them. But then during the middle of the season, when you get 15 points a game, they turn around and complain and say, we don't have any offense. You don't got a quarterback and you don't got skill positions. You got guys that are running around here that want Abdul Carter. They want a offensive lineman. They don't want to take a chance at a quarterback. They want to get everything later on. Listen, why would you think that your offense is going to be great when you haven't done anything since 1999 offensively ever to address the positions? You guys, I remember it's a couple years ago now. We was talking about DeAndre Hopkins. And I said, bro, DeAndre Hopkins come here and help you out, man. DeAndre Hopkins can come in here and do something for you, help you out, at least catch the football, give you some depths. I had people talking about, hey, we got Donovan Peoples-Jones, a 6th-round pick. Y'all be trying to make 6th-round picks. You act like you get a premium. If we take guys in the 6th round and they're just average and they run down on kickoff team, then somehow we get another extra bonus to our boost that we're smart. No, bro, you just got a bunch of dudes that ain't good. Like, this is the stuff that we be talking about. This is the stuff that happens all the time, bro. So, when you look at it, these are the things that people always double and triple down on. The quarterback argument, we don't need one. We shouldn't take one. Guess what? If we don't get one this year, we'll be at the same place next year. Let's get to these super chats. Let me see what we got. Sapper Daddy. Dart isn't trash. That's good value at 24. Same with Milroe. You got Hunter, who's dynamic, and now you have to rush a quarterback to the field. Either take one of them. Look, listen. That's the way my thought process is going with this draft. If you jump back into the 1st round, you not only got a 5th-year option for him, the money's not crazy at the back of the 1st round, and you're gonna get a chance to do something. You got the quarterback. Now you can move around and do some other things. And we're going to get an opportunity to see what Kevin Stefanski is in terms of building up characters, building up people that could get it done, building a quarterback. You got the quarterback. Yet you don't got to mess around and make sure he's doing anything. So listen, let's keep it popping. That's how we going to move with it. Let's get back to the comments. You like it, you hate the trade. Who hates the trade? Free Tilly says, I want Milroe or Sanders, and we may have to trade up from 33. Oh, no, 33 is not going to stick. Like that's not going to stick. Let's see. Let's see. Curtis Lloyd says, we still make a move up to 15 with Atlanta, kill Pittsburgh, hope to get Milroe. Now, y'all been saying something right now, and I think it's super dope for me. I like the fact, now, if it comes down to it, in that draft, I felt like I had to get up in there real quick because the Pittsburgh Steelers took Milroe. If you ask me, if I'm gonna reach on somebody, if I'm gonna have a project, give me the Milroe project. Give me that Milroe project, bro. That's what I'm looking to cook with. I mean, if you could get Milroe, I put him on the field and get him a couple packages here or there. If he's there, the thing is, I think Pittsburgh looking at him. I'm not gonna lie. I think Pittsburgh's looking at him. I was hoping during this draft process that they was going to take a defensive line. The kid Harmon from Oregon. There was a lot of other guys that the defensive linemen, people of that sort. I was hoping they was going to, maybe get a JTT or a Jack Sawyer at that position, maybe get a little higher than I thought. But the guy, to his credit, he stayed there and took Milroe, and I like that move. I like Milroe. If you have to ask me which one I would take Milroe because of the upside. Sapper Daddy, we appreciate you. The main issue in the fan base is has a savior complex. Don't get me wrong. I like Carter at 2, but the offense is stuck in first gear, and we stay rushing the kid on the field just to destroy his confidence week 1. Listen, I've been saying it a lot. Listen, I play defense, people. I play defense. I play defensive end in college. I understand the importance of defense. I also understand that times change. And I also understand that you cannot live in your fears every single time we talk about offensive players, except for running backs. We can't do it. And we have to. Think about this. I argue with my people, my brethren in the media, up and down about why it wasn't a bad decision to pay Jerry Jeudy. Oh, Jerry Jeudy, he hasn't done anything. Guys, you don't know. That's not the way this works. You do know that the Browns haven't done anything. The Browns have to overpay. People thought all the Browns could do is throw money at people. Have you not seen half of America? If you're out of shape, you're big, you don't got a pretty face as a man, you don't work out, your hygiene is bad, how you gonna get a supermodel? Well, you might want to throw some money at her. That's it. How you figure that you about to get a discount on a supermodel? You don't lift weights, you don't work out, your gear is trash, your conversation is horrible. All you do is eat chips. You don't talk about nothing. You ain't got no good conversation. You're not funny. You're dry as an old stale piece of rye bread over on Cedar. And you talking about how come I can't get a supermodel for it? Boy, you better be a millionaire. You better have that car, the crib, the helicopter, all the above, letter D, and you might want to pay for our peoples too. Talk about how come we can't get no. Bro, you got to overpay. You had to overpay Myles Garrett. Oh, I don't understand what critique that is. Well, the Browns have to overpay for everybody. Why do you care? It's not your money. I'll spend all these millionaires and billionaires owners' money. I don't care. I am not trying to get a citizenship award for being fiscally conservative with play money. I want the best team possible. Who cares? If it ain't going to cost them nothing, it is what it is. Browns fans, imagine having to play Monroe and Jackson twice a year. You'll never win the AFC North again. Thank you. We're cooking. Listen, thank you, Sapper Daddy. Thank you for waking these fools up. I know, listen, it took us a while to cook. I know the microphone wasn't right in the beginning. I understand all that. But here's the thing. Y'all better wake up. You don't know what y'all got in the division? You bringing a knife to a gunfight, pin to a test, in the words of my man Jay-Z. Come on, fellas. You already got Burrow. You just wait for Pittsburgh to find their next dude? See, what y'all do is repeat stuff over and over and over and over and over again, and you don't get it. I remember when Joe Flacco was dominating the Browns and he won a Super Bowl. I remember when Ben Roethlisberger was dominating the Browns. He won a Super Bowl. I remember when Andy Dalton was playing for the Bengals and they was dominating the Browns and they were going to the playoffs every single year. Fast forward to now, they've got their second generation of stars. Lamar Jackson comes right in for Flacco. What waiting on? Then you got Joe Burrow comes right in on Cincinnati. And now you're waiting for the Pittsburgh Steelers to get their dude back, and you still telling me don't reach. You telling me don't reach for nothing. You got, it's a home invasion. You got people coming in your house. Your wife and your kids is upstairs asleep. You talking about don't reach for that weapon. You don't know if you need to use it yet. Man, I'm reaching every day, twice on Sunday. How dare you come in my house? I'm reaching right now. Right now, we on the reach mode because that's just in your division. You still got to get C.J. Stroud together. You still got Pat Mahomes. You still got Herbert. You still got Josh Allen walking around. And guys are continually getting better, getting other guys. Don't reach, though. Don't do it, G. Bush. Don't reach. Let me get to this. Here's how we're going to move with this. We appreciate it. We appreciate that. Let's get to this. I want to cook with this. Where's my little banner? Where my banners? Where my banners? Yeah, we're gonna do this. I want to get to let's get to him. We want to get to Andrew Berry. Now, he's been gushing all over the place. We talked about that was crazy. I apologize for that. I wasn't supposed to say it come out like that. We'll get to that last. Let's get to Andrew Berry. He talked about the skill set of one Travis Hunter. Talk about what Travis Hunter is, what he ain't. And we'll come back to that and get to this on the opposite side. But I think he tipped his hand for everybody that was wondering out there, what the heck is we doing?
Like you can't probably fully appreciate until you actually see Travis play live is just his elite conditioning. Like, going out and seeing him play at Colorado, he really never comes off the field, and it's unbelievable because there are more plays in a college game than there is a pro game, and it's like the guy he barely pants like that, like that type of thing. So it's quite incredible. That being said, what he would attempt to do has not been really done in our league. But we wouldn't necessarily put a cap or a governor in terms of what he could do. We would want to be smart in terms of how we started him out. I think I've mentioned before, we would see his first home as receiver and his second home, on the defense side of the ball. Yeah, I think one of the big things, he has a number of rare qualities, but probably the rarest is his ability with the ball, his ball skills. And, we would want to put him in a position that maximizes that ability.
Be concerned about the pounding, like the physical pounding, not the aerobic part, but the taking the hits on both sides of the ball. If he played on both sides for you,
yeah, I think anytime a player across positions plays more snaps, there certainly is more of that risk. That being said, playing on the perimeter positions, there's maybe a little bit less contact than there would be as you get closer to the ball. But it's something that 32 teams are would have to figure that out as they think through his profile, and there would be some probably learning on the fly if he were here.
He has to play on both sides to be worth that number 2 pick, because that's kind of how he's viewed, as the guy that can do both versus just is one side or the other.
No, I don't see it that way. I think it's, and I'm going to use a crossboard now. It's a little bit like Ohtani, right, where when he's playing one side, he's an outstanding player. If he's a pitcher, he's a hitter, he's an outstanding player.
Man, this man Andrew Berry was up here whispering. This man was telling secrets. He was like, Andrew, can you keep this a secret? I'm like, man, boy, this Andrew Berry was up here whispering, boy. But we'll give you the cliff notes of what he talked about. One of the questions at the end, they talked about, do you have to use him on both sides of the football in order to justify taking him? Another created narrative, absolute created narrative. The fact that people is trying to act like he's not dynamic and he didn't dominate both sides of the ball. See, this is the thing. what we got to talk about is how if you do take a Travis Hunter and you do want to get Travis Hunter together, what you're going to have to do is start understanding how to use Travis Hunter, because it's more about you than it is him. What do you mean by that? It's more about what you have and what you are incapable of doing rather than it's Travis Hunter. See, what we do is I always talk about there's levels to this thing. There was differences to certain situations. When you take a look at what Travis Hunter is or what Travis Hunter does, the one thing that people always go to is it's never been done before. Every invention that's ever been created wasn't done before that certain time period. Every single time that you see Shohei Ohtani on the field, there had to be somebody that said to Shohei Ohtani, you know what? I'm going to let him try it. And most of the time, it's not about Travis Hunter. Most of the time, it's not about the players. It's about the coaches and the mentality of the people who are in control at the time. You can live in your fears, but those fears are on you. Sometimes people be telling on themselves. Just because you're not special don't mean somebody else ain't. Like, no disrespect. I can't go into another field and be like, yeah, man, this whole flying plane stuff is easy, bro. Let me get up here and get my little license off. Let me fly these jets. No, bro. Were you built to do that? No. Do you have something inside you with the propensity to say that? No. So why would I say, oh, well, listen, you can't do that maneuver in that jet? Somebody can do it because they was born to do it. Travis Hunter been doing this his whole life, been still doing it. And the crazy part about it is people will throw their insecurities on somebody. When you know you're special, you just live in it. We get the fact that certain people they're going to be regular as it just, they're a solid 7 in life. You're a 7 in life. That's good. You're a good citizen. You go to work. You don't get in trouble. You pay your bills, take care of your family. You try to eat good occasionally, maybe work out every other day or try to stay in shape. But you and Travis Hunter are not the same people. Travis Hunter is different. He's shown you that he is different. The playbook is different. The skills is different. At the end of the day, when you get a Travis Hunter, you got to play Travis Hunter a specific type of way. Let's get to this idea that Travis Hunter, for some reason, is like everybody else. No disrespect to Ryan Clark and some of these guys, but this is what we cannot do. This is what everybody's getting wrong about Travis Hunter.
Joe Madden, actually former MLB manager who managed two-way star Shohei Ohtani, had some advice for some teams regarding Travis Hunter. I think we're going to put this quote up. He said, the player is the one who knows how to do this. The rest of us don't. Basically, as you read through this, he's suggesting a pitch count of sorts, but just apply it to the NFL. RC, do you agree that that would work? Would that be the...
Nope. Rewind that. Bad job out of you.
Apply it to the...
I didn't ask you, once again, why are you up here trying to paraphrase? Read what that man said verbatim. Don't say, well, let me add the first. He told y'all what you should be thinking about when he coached Shohei Ohtani. I'll read it because y'all be doing too much, and it's the point I'm trying to make. Joe Madden says, the player is the one who knows how to do this. The rest of us don't. Why are you trying to put your ignorance on another person when you ain't never done that, ain't never gonna do that? They're going to go through all the scenarios to try to figure it out, and that's insane. Trust the player. Why are you trying to worry about, well, how are you gonna go against Jamar Chase and then go on the... Bro, I do this. I do that. Listen, can an eagle envision what a fish sees? No. I'm an eagle. I soar. You just regular. And they're trying to go through all these scenarios to try to figure it out. And that's insane. Trust the player. Talk to the player. You're doing something that has never been done before. I mean, it's a lot of running, so rest him a couple of series. It ain't that deep. Hey, Travis, here's how easy this works. Hey, Travis. You just play 8 plays on offense. You tired? Nah, coach, I'm good. You sure? All right, we got you in on defense. Cool. How hard is that? Well, I don't know how he's gonna digest the playbook and do both. Maybe he's that smart because he's done it so far. Let's continue on.
NFL. RC, do you agree that that would work? Would that be the wise way to use Travis Hunter if you are going to have him contribute on both sides?
Yeah, listen, I would say use a pitch count.
Again, why are you going to the panelists when Joe Madden is not done kicking facts? You're trying to gloss over it. You're doing the same thing he's saying. Because he's saying something opposite of what you can comprehend, you're disregarding it, trying to go to Ryan Clark to get the answer you want. I'll read it again. If he's playing defense and it's 3 and out all runs, why would that bother you? or you could take him in and out of the game earlier, almost like we do with pitchers now, where we pitch them less in the beginning of the year, so we have more of them at the end of the year. If it's 3 and out and they ain't running the football, how is he getting tired? He's sitting there patty caking with a cornerback doing this. Myles Garrett got the tackle. Defense, Grant Delpit got a tackle. Why would you then take him out the next series? I don't understand it. Listen, you get your comments ready because I want to understand this rationale.
I'm different than Andrew Berry. I love to see Travis Hunter on defense. I believe that his ball skills defensively set him apart, but I also believe there's an easier opportunity to adapt on the offensive side of the football where you're running routes and you understand where you're going. Here would be the major reason for having a pitch count for Travis Hunter. For me, it's not about the physical toll of the position as much as it is about the mental toll. Could you imagine that you're playing the Miami Dolphins as they're constructed right now, and every time you go out to the wide receiver position, Jalen Ramsey is on the other side of the football, and then when you're on the defensive side of the ball, you're having to face a guy like Tyreek Hill. That sort of stress.
That's because you're not him. You don't have him on your nameplate, Ryan Clark. You got all you can get. No disrespect. Listen, I love your content. I like the way you play the game. But no disrespect, my brother. You weren't him. What do you mean the mental anguish? Travis Hunter has no mental anguish. That's what you would do. You're telling everyone that you would melt because you just saw Tyreek Hill and you had to go turn and flip it over and Jalen Ramsey is covering you. Come on, dog. That's you. Again, watch how many times people put their own insecurities on another person and say, I don't know how he do it. Well, didn't nobody ask you that. God didn't give you that ability. Just sit back and watch him work.
In and out of every single play is different than what you get when you're playing against the Colorado State team and it's just a college rivalry. And so I believe you need to be smart as to.
By the way, I'm tired of people sitting around saying like they didn't play nobody. Travis Hunter didn't play USC. They didn't play against UCLA. Both teams are in the Big Ten. They've played against multiple teams that have good ball players. Let's not act like he's not playing the schedule. They played Oregon the year before. They didn't play a lot of these teams. Like, I don't understand why people keep trying to act like this is a MAC school. Colorado is not a MAC school, bro.
To not overload what you're asking him from a mental and emotional standpoint, more so than physically early on in his career.
And that's one of the reasons why I do like him as a corner with little wide receiver mixed in. And Ryan, I'm so excited to talk about this with you, and particularly in Green Bay, because everyone looks at Travis Hunter and how amazing he was at both positions in college, and we ask, well, why can't he play both ways? Well, the mental aspect of playing corner in season, whereas if he plays corner, you can absolutely create a 10 to 12 play package for him, Ryan. Like, it's a lot easier for him to do both if he measures in that side of the ball. No,
not, and that's what. But I just think he should be a defender, Mina, because.
All right, so let me just continue to debunk this stuff one after another. So they're talking about the mental aspect of the game and how difficult it must be to learn both sides of the ball and all that good stuff. Once again, I don't know what your academic career was looking like, but when you talk about what Travis Hunter can do and how he goes about it, this man is rare. This is from ESPN's Mark Jones noted that during the game broadcast. Oh, by the way, Travis Hunter has a 4.0 GPA as well, if you're wondering.
Travis Hunter's academic record is as impressive as his on-field performance. He achieved a perfect 4.0 during the fall semester in 2023 and maintained a 3.908 GPA in the spring of 2024. These grades culminated into a GPA of 3.798, earning him a spot on the academic All-American team. So once again, I don't know what y'all do, and he's just different. If you're that smart and you don't do anything but invest your time into playing both ways, which he says he wants to do, and he's smart and he studies and he gets it and he's in shape and he doesn't do anything off the field, there's plenty of time for you to absorb that. But I'm just not saying, maybe you couldn't do that. I'm just saying. No disrespect. Let's continue rolling.
If he gets 5 to 7 picks a year, if he gets 5, Travis Hunter is an all-pro. Derek Stingley this year, who I believe has at the position some of the best ball skills we've ever seen. Travis Hunter is very similar in tracking the football. And if you can allow him to be a part of the defense, don't make him go be number one. Don't make him travel with Ja'Marr Chase. Play him in the right way defensively. Have a 10 to 12 package, like you say, offensively.
Man, y'all done lost your mind. Y'all done lost your mind. Why would I limit a 10 to 12 pay package for a Maserati? Does LeBron James have a package? Well, we'll let the LeBron bring the ball up a couple times a game, but we want him to post up. Bro, it's LeBron. Does Luka have a package? No. Get Luka the rock and move the hell out the way. You see, that's the difference between regular guys, tryhards, and ball players. Certain people, you get Shohei Ohtani the ball, and you don't worry about how he gets to throw 99 and 100 miles an hour and still hit 3-4 home runs and still gun people out from the outfield and still run the bases and still 50, 60 bases. You let Ohtani worry about that. Not you. You let him worry.
And now I believe you're getting the best of Travis Hunter without possibly ruining Travis Hunter, which is the smart thing you have to do if you're going to draft him in the top 3.
Yeah, see, I talked to multiple teams that made this comparison. Like, if he's a wide receiver, he'll probably be a top 15 wide receiver. But in 2 years, he could be an all-pro cornerback, maybe the very best. And they're quick to point out, like, it's a logistical nightmare if you ask a player in the NFL with all the nuances and all the team meetings at the same time on offensive defense to play full-time on both sides of the ball. It'd be impossible. Like, if you're going to play him.
No, bro. It's not. Again, I continue to talk about people who say impossible. And Travis Hunter says something, and I respect him for it. He said it's 24 hours of the day. And when I play in football, you got to sleep 8 hours. The rest of it is all football. You can't stop nobody that's determined. You can't, bro. At the end, like when people be putting it, and this is a note for everybody. Listen, this is a note I'm gonna just throw this out here to you guys because it don't really pertain to Travis Hunter. This could be anybody that's out here watching, having a conversation right now. These people tell you what you can't do every single day. There is somebody at your job. There is somebody at your church. There's somebody that the mailman, the dude at the grocery store. There are always people waiting to tell you what you are and what you are not. And the great thing about life in sports is every single week you got an opportunity to put your jersey on, go out there and prove people wrong. Just like you got an opportunity to do that in real life. This stuff right here, this isn't just about Travis Hunter. Look, Travis Hunter gonna prove whether he's good or not, and how many reps they're gonna play him is what they're gonna play. But what I'm preaching more, and what I'm talking about more in this setting, is the fact that as people, if you believe what people will tell you, bro, they will weigh you down like an albatross or a rock or tied to your waist in deep water. These folks be telling you what you can and can't do. They told G. Bush, you can't wear sunglasses on TV. Watch me. G. Bush, you're the Duke of New Jerk, bro. You can't do nothing. Watch me.
You can't stop me. You can hate all you want. Put it in the message board 1,000 times. But you don't control when I wake up. You don't control how many blogs I do. You don't control how many comments that I'm typing back and forth. You don't control how many times I'm going to continue to go get it and wake up every single day. And at the end of the day, that's what I can control. If you can control that, you can control your destiny. You can never, this stuff that people be talking about, this is deeper than rap. Don't let nobody tell you you can't do something. I'm factual proof. Factual proof. You think that I talk spicy? You think they like that? No, but you know what? This ain't for everybody. There's some people out here that want to go listen to the middle of the road guys. There's some people out here that want to go and play it safe. I'm not playing nothing safe to sit up here and hang out with y'all. I don't care. I don't eat birthday cake. I'm not coming to the cookout. I'm not going to the golf outings. I'm not going to none of that. I'm not going to the mixer events. I'm in these streets. I'm talking right here. And that's how I'm going to continue to talk. And that's just for somebody needed to hear that out here. Somebody had to hear that. I just had to throw that out there. If you know what I'm talking about, put a 1 in the chat. These dudes out here hating.
Wide receiver, you could maybe get away with like him being a third down situational cornerback too, but to play both sides all the time would be next to impossible.
You know, it's just fascinating because whatever team drafts him, they're going to be able to decide a lot of this, right? But if you talk to Travis, I've asked him about this. I've asked him about the mental load, and he says he's totally ready for it. Go ahead, RC.
Also, too, think about how talented Charles Woodson and Champ Bailey and Deion Sanders were as just pure athletes. We never had these sorts of discussion about those 3 first ballot Hall of Famers. That's how special Travis Hunter was in college and how huge of a prospect he is.
Well, let him cook then. Let that man cook. By the way, if I was going to take somebody's opinion of it, why wouldn't I take the best cornerback ever to play? Why wouldn't I take the best two-way athlete besides Bo Jackson's word for it? Why would I not take Deion Primetime Sanders and if Deion, that's the code, that'd be crazy. Everybody got an opinion, but sometimes your opinion really don't be counting. I'm going to keep it real with you. Sometimes it don't be counting like that. How can you, Deion Sanders, who was a 2-sport athlete at the highest level, who played a playoff baseball game and a regular season football game in the same day, he says Travis Hunter is different? I'm going to take his word for it. I think he done seen it before. Hit that like button for your boy. Stop playing around, man. Let me see what we got. Let's get back to these comments. Zapper Daddy says, you're only crazy until it works. Miro Hunter need to be Browns on Thursday, period. Otherwise, will be another 25 years of darkness for the Browns. I'll tell you what. I'm down for the smoke. If the Browns can get Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders, I officially stamped that approval. I'm ready to go. Whatever they need to do, how they need to move with it, I'm ready to do it. If the Browns can get away and have a way to keep the Colorado connection together, I'm taking it. I come out of this draft with what I believe is the best player in this draft, Travis Hunter, and I still got the quarterback. I still got the second best quarterback. People talk about the Deshaun Watson move. Hey, if you want to sit here and cry about the Deshaun Watson move, go be my guest. But I ain't got no time for that. You know what I'm back up doing? Swinging. Because that's what it takes. When you swing out and you strike out bad, you got to go ahead and get a big shovel to dig yourself out. What you think I'm doing again? I'm aggressive. I'm not playing. That's why I moved up in the draft. I'm going to get me a quarterback, and I'm not going to play no games with y'all. And if Kevin Stefanski was smart, he'd do the exact same thing. Because I'm going to tell you what, he did exactly what he should have done. They got some people back. I don't know who the new guy in charge is. They got a new PR guy in charge. They said, listen, let me. Okay, here we go. Now, sit back. I'm going to drink a little bit of this coffee. And I'm going to give you, again, behind the scenes, things that people should not tell you. Okay? You ready? Let me tell you this. Sapper Daddy, appreciate you, man. Let me know if you like to trade. Here's what it is. The Cleveland Browns have set themselves up to get a quarterback. You know how? They got new people in charge. I don't know who it is. Maybe they switch lanes. But first thing they did, and this is all people talk, don't talk political stuff. And no, this is politics. Everything is politics. Everything is politics when it comes to big business, big money. Cleveland Browns had a PR. They had an image issue. The image issue was Deshaun Watson and what people saw with that. They said, not only you gave him all this money, but you took them draft picks and he swung. It was a bad look. There was a lot of people that was out on Deshaun Watson from day one. They want no parts of it. And they felt that Deshaun Watson was the reason Baker Mayfield was gone. That's 2-3 strikes right there. So there was people that were never going to get behind Deshaun Watson, period. There are a group of people that would have came around if he would have played well. And I think if he would have played at the tippy top, people would have, it would have been about 10% that don't mess with him, but 90% would have got on base because winning matters. But let me tell you, if you're not in a position to win, you're in position to get your optics together. So when you go looking for a quarterback, what's one quarterback who seemed to have Teflon status? Joe Flacco. You see, the last quarterback that people remember doing anything that was good was Joe Flacco. They had an opportunity to test Joe Flacco. His story was great. The narrative was there. He's a guy that comes off unassuming, written off for dead. Kids don't even know he was good at playing football, and he comes in off this couch and he throws for 300 yards at game after game, and the Browns go to the playoffs. What a story. I said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to bring Joe Flacco back. And you know what that's going to do? That's a whole shield. That when you do that, you naturally got 40% of your fan base back with that. They also coupled that with saying, you know what? That was on us. That was a bad move to get Deshaun Watson. The Browns never apologized. Matter of fact, the Browns doubled down. This is the new wave in life. People double down all the time now. Never tell you people you're wrong. Just double down. People will get fatigued about telling you why you're lying. People will get super fatigued. If you just lie 100 times, people are like, well, maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just his opinion. No, it was a below-face lie. But guess what the Browns did? They switched it up on y'all. They said that was on us. Don't take it out on Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry. That was us. Put it on the Haslams. I said, oh, these dudes done got savvy. So now you got cover for Stefanski and Berry because you take the onus and blame off them. You put it on you. You also get a couple extra points because you admitted to the mistake. And then you actually kind of admitted low-key, well, we probably could have kept Joe Flacco anyway. We probably should have kept him anyway. But here's the point. If you look at it, Joe Flacco and Jameis Winston is the same person. They throw the same picks. They just do it in a different, but it's all about the messaging. When you ask Joe Flacco a question, you're not going to catch him in bad question. He got the right answer. He's going to be even keel, doing his thing. But when you ask Jameis Winston a question, and I don't got a problem with it, people kind of, I don't know how I feel about all the preacher stuff. It kind of, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but it's all about what you identify with. And I'm not saying identifying with something is not that's nothing wrong with that. Kevin Stefanski's like, yo, I like Joe Flacco. He was the happiest ever been with Flacco. You know why? Because that's his type of guy. So you bring Flacco back, and now all of a sudden they're like, all right, well, listen, here's how this. Listen, Miles, I know we was tripping. We just gonna use some money. Ain't nothing we can really do. We're gonna be terrible, kind of. We're gonna draft a rookie quarterback, and we're gonna try to get the best of a player. What you think about Joe Flacco? I mean, y'all was balling when he was here. He's like, oh, I like Flacco. Plus that $40 million bag you got. Now the perception is, the Browns moving around a little bit. Huh? And now you have cover to take whatever quarterback you want. Because Joe Flacco is probably going to start. Kenny Pickett is chilling behind him. You have a quarterback competition. And guess what? None of the spotlight will be on the new quarterback. He'll be the third guy, maybe have a package of your Miro. He'll sit behind people and they'll implement the system and they'll do it the right way and all that good stuff. But you see, there's a reason Russell Wilson ain't there. There's a reason Justin Fields ain't there. They don't want nobody rocking the boat. They had enough of the tabloid season. They had enough of it. Listen, we cannot have a quarterback room where every single week people coming out. But at certain points in time, the national media just didn't even like the Browns. They'd be talking, and they still pivot back to Deshaun Watson. Pivot hard, super hard to Deshaun Watson. I thought that was a little bit of Shrey because they ain't pivoted nothing with the Baltimore Ravens. They ain't pivot nobody. I think Justin Tucker got an extension. Did anybody hear anything about Justin Tucker lately? Anybody? No, nothing. I thought there was something going on. See, this is why you tell the truth too much. You better stop it. You know Easter's coming up. I apologize. But the Cleveland Browns is moving like that. They done set it up where now, whatever quarterback they take, you're good. But that's how you strategically politicize and have a politician. That's the way to work it. They say, oh, here, listen, y'all don't like us? Here, hold on, here. You got to get a base something. They gave the base Joe Flacco. Them radio airwaves was lit up. They wasn't? They wasn't lit up? You know they was lit up. Stop playing with me. 446, hit that like button. It ain't for everybody. This ain't for everybody. I'm just keeping it a buck. Let's get to it. Hey, how did Philly win? McLaughlin? O-line, run the ball. Detroit fix the trenches first. No. We're not going to do that. You know how Philadelphia won? In the second round, they took Jalen Hurts. They traded for A.J. Brown. They spent a top 10 pick on Devontae Adams. They went out and got Saquon Barkley, the best running back in free agency, and he ran for 2,000 yards. That's how they won. Franchise quarterback, 2 receivers that could do multiple things, and the best running back in the game. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You think they won because of them defensive ends? Go back and look what Jalen Hurts did in them Super Bowls. He's been in 2 of them, by the way. 2. He threw for 300 the prior one. Couldn't stop him on the ground this one. Y'all be skimming through stuff. That is not what happened. Acting like they just drafted defensive ends and popped up. I would listen, Terrence. You know, some people still mad at LeBron. I don't understand. We want to sniff no champion. LeBron, look quick. Some people be still running around calling him look quick. Thank you, Grass and Bass. Hurts was the MVP of the Super Bowl. Again, what are you guys watching? I'm confused. This worldview, I don't know, and I could have swore I seen the same Super Bowl you did. What Super Bowl where they were just? I mean, the dude is one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the game. He's been in 2 Super Bowls, and you talk about defensive ends and tackles. I don't get it. I don't get it. Philly and Detroit have good quarterback play. Listen, these clowns love to bother Deshaun Watson. He ain't throwing no shade. He just rehabbing. Here's what I'm going to say about that. Look, the dude is rehabbing, bro. Let him rehab. He ain't saying nothing. People keep trying to, even when I was doing the draft thing, people say, Deshaun Watson's still in the building. You know good and well Deshaun Watson not playing. Stop with that. You just using it a reason to keep bringing it up. Keep it pushing, people. Instead of all that, he's rehabbing. We need to find out who the hell we taking at quarterback. While we wasting all that time, we need to figure out which quarterback we moving up to go get. Come on now. People be doing way too much. Way too much. Michael, I didn't say. I didn't say that. I didn't say. I didn't say that. But no, look, you gotta look. I remember one time, we was talking about that once, and it dawned on me. I'm like, man, the Browns got an all-black quarterback room, and you would have think somebody said something crazy. That's like, why does that matter? I'm like, look, I didn't say. Why does that matter? I'm like, bro, not that serious. When I be talking about the how the Flacco thing rolls, understand this. This is life in general. People are gonna roll, and people are gonna naturally go with who they're comfortable with. Kevin Stefanski and Joe Flacco is the same in terms of the way they think about football, the way they prefer to play the game of football, the way they go about asking questions. Kevin Stefanski is a very low-key guy. Joe Flacco is very low-key. And you know what Kevin Stefanski wants more than anything? A low-key quarterback room so I could get to – he wants to fly under the radar. That's what he wants to do. He don't want no problems. And the Cleveland Browns have been on the front page for years, right? Going back to Manziel, front page. Going back to, Odell Beckham Jr., front page. Baker Mayfield, front page. Deshaun Watson, super front page. Myles Garrett, front page. They don't want no front page comments no more. They don't want none of that. So when you had an opportunity to go get some of these dudes, nah, we don't want that. We don't want that. Let me see what we got. See, we can get a couple more in here. Let me see. Let me get to. John, I wonder how much the narrative would change if it was someone else drafting Hunter. Here's this. This is why I like y'all. This is why I like the people that tune in and they do a really good job of asking pertinent questions. John, thank you. I wonder how much the narrative would change if it was someone else drafting Hunter. That's the thing. The narrative changes quickly when we are talking about any other city. Think about the way that this happens all the time. It just does. They'll tell you it's a reach to take Shador at 2, but the New York Giants, they take him at 3. Great job by you guys. If the Browns were to take Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter goes 3, they'll say, you got the best player in the draft. Now look what you can have, him and Malik Neighbors. And the fact that they got a great pass rush, you put him back there. New York, he's box office. He's going to be ecstatic. Again, one pick later to the Giants, and all of a sudden, it's a tremendous look. Let the Browns do it. It's a dumb move. I don't like the move. They're not going to use him right. They don't got a quarterback, but even though I know they don't got a quarterback and they be trying to draft the quarterback, I don't like the quarterbacks they be trying to draft, so I tell them never to draft one. Then the next year, I just say that we don't have a quarterback again, and we do the same thing over. These dudes will make you think they are the greatest gaslighters in the world. They'll make you think that you're crazy. You be sitting there like, bro, am I crazy? You be like, is Travis Hunter mid? Is Travis Hunter mid? You be looking around at folks. Is he mid? And then he goes somewhere else and they spam the hell out of him, throwing him the ball on rocket screens, throwing him the ball on flea flickers, reverses. They let him play quarterback and wildcat. He returning punts, kicks. He's giving concessions out. He's signing people. He's his own agent. They let him do anything he wants to in New York, and they'll be on TV every freaking day. Every day they'll be on TV, Thursday night, Saturday night, Tuesday night. Talk about the Giants and Travis Hunter. The most dynamic receiver, defensive back we've ever seen since Dion, since Prime himself. Well, you get a chance to watch him on Amazon Prime tonight. And we fall for it every single time. And then 2 years later, we could have had him. Wow. Remember when the Browns traded down and traded Julio Jones? Remember Julio Jones only went on to dominate the league for about 10, 12 years? Come on, man. Stop it, fellas. John, thank you for understanding that these dudes will gaslight you and have you out here looking crazy. We could have had him. How many people? We could have had him too. Yeah, you're right. Boy, I tell you. Whew. It's crazy. Now that Hunter's going to Cleveland. Now the media is barking out. He can. It's almost impossible. Solo. It's impossible. What? I mean, just the mental toll that's going to take. They act like this. They act like this dude was trying to be a peacekeeper in the Middle East or something. Think about the mental angle. They act like he had nuclear launch codes or something. This man is playing football. By the way, this goes to show you, and Ryan Clark, this is a bad job out of you. As a corner, there's only 5 things you can do. You can play man-to-man coverage, cover 2, cover 3, cover 4, maybe cover 6. What mythical plays are you talking about? Defensive backs, from my experience, don't even need to get in the huddle. And as a matter of fact, they get their calls from safeties. Ryan Clark, you are a safety. Why are you telling this to people? You know good and well that the safeties give the corners the calls. So he don't even need to know what the hell the coverage is. All he needs to do is go out there and say, listen to the call. What's the call? Hey, Grant Delpit, Ronnie Hickman. Oh, it's cover 2? I got you. That's it. There's nothing else. And if it's man-to-man coverage, like Jim Schwartz plays 45 to 50% of the time, what are you talking about? What playbook are you digesting? This is why I be trying to tell y'all, these dudes be straight up low. I don't think they be lying, but they be doing that stuff, and it sounds dumb. Like, why is nobody giving the rebuttal I just gave? It was very simple. Ryan Clark, let me ask you a question. How many coverages are there as a corner? 5 or 6. Ryan Clark, how much do you need to know a coverage if you're playing man-to-man coverage 50% of the time? Not very many. But people take that for face value. It's wild. It's wild, man. Okay, G. Now by explaining Travis under the potentials now, I feel confident the Browns can pick him at 2. Hold on. There you go. That's what I like to see. That's my goal. I want you to come on here, and I ain't gonna reach everybody, but I just want to show you maybe we can think about things a little bit different. And by the way, the Cavs, Sunday's coming up. Shout out to the Cavs. Cavs coming up on Sunday. By the way, they got the Heat. Hey, put it in the chat. What you think about the Heat? What did the Cavs win? Gentlemen's punt on the Heat, 4-1, but 4-2. How you feel about that game series coming up against the Heat, 1 versus 8? Because look, we are giving a lot of energy to the Cavs right now, to the Browns right now. Rightfully so. Draft's coming up, but we will be talking about these Cavs. We will be getting to the Cavs. We'll get to these post games and everything. Shout out to wherever you're looking at right now. If you on YouTube on UCSS, I see you. If you with the on the barbershop, I see you. Shout out to Facebook, by the way, too. Yeah. Let's see. Clifford Davis, fan him being on that draft board. Bring him home. Shout out to my man. Cam McKinley's finest, Bowling Green, Mac alum himself, Mr. Fannin. I like him. I think he's going to be available. A lot of the mock drafts, he's available. Let's see. Let me see this. TK, who's a better receiver, Hunter or Malik Neighbors? Hunter or Harrison Jr.? Browns will be garbage with Hunter because the team is garbage. Browns defense won't stop Burrow, Jackson, and just Garrett. Okay. See, this is the problem. I've always said this, and you don't make any sense, my good sir. So did you see what the Cincinnati Bengals did? They signed T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, and they got Joe Burrow, right? Did Trey Hendrickson get any money? Not that I know of. You see what the Pittsburgh Steelers did, right? They got Pickens and one got DK Metcalf, right? Great. Why are we talking about defensive players or anything? And is Travis Hunter better than Malik Neighbors or Marvin Harrison Jr.? By the way, Marvin Harrison Jr. didn't do much last year. Fam, I like Malik Neighbors. But let me tell you this. Travis Hunter is not far from him. If you say they better, I'm not going to knock you for it, but he in the same neighborhood. And if I'm in the same neighborhood as Malik Neighbors or Marvin Harrison Jr., then I'm balling. What are you talking about? We're not talking about is you better than Harrison or better than Neighbors. We trying to get better on offense. I need to put somebody with Jerry Jeudy. I don't care nothing about that other stuff. What I care about is it is an upgrade to what we doing. So I'm guessing you would like us to draft who? If you don't want him, who you want? By the way, we scored like how many points we scored? 15 a game? 15 points a game. Oh, yeah, them ones. Yeah. Yeah. Look, hey, we put them ones. I told y'all, cats out here, there's a lot of people. Don't be listening to them dudes. Cats will be listening to you the whole look. Hey, sometimes you gotta you gotta keep your little stuff close to the vest. He come out of the woodworks hating on stuff. Let's see. Ryan Andrew. I firmly believe the Browns are not taking quarterback at 33 unless Milroe is there. If he's not, I think they wait and take Howard or McCord later in the draft. And by the way, yeah, I said this earlier. You're not going to say that I don't got a problem with this. I don't have a problem with the Cleveland Browns. If the Browns have a position on a certain player and that's what they want to have, then I got to respect it and say, okay, well, whatever. But whatever you do, got to make it work. Like, whatever you do and whoever you take, you better make it work. So if they don't like Jackson Dart and they like Milroe, my thing is go get Milroe. I'm not waiting for the board to come nowhere. I'm going to get my guys. And if you want Jalen Milroe and you think he's going to be, don't wait on nobody. The game don't wait on nothing. Go after it. We talking, listen, we talking. We dropping bars out here, bro. We dropping bars. DeWine, Hunter is a human being. His body will break down playing so many snaps. He should play some, but not a lot on both sides. I continue to tell people, maybe your body will break down. His hasn't so far. And your body breakdown is inevitable. My body broke down weeks ago. Still keep breaking down. Here's the thing. You get what you get out of it. Listen, you go to the wheels fall off. Like, go to the wheels fall off. There's no such thing. I want to let people know. There's no such thing as saving yourself. In no sport. All it takes is this. All it takes is one cut, ACL. One cut, Achilles heel. One hit, concussion. You're not saving yourself. This is an inevitable part of life.
It's what everybody signs up for. You know that you're probably taking 5 to 10 years off your life based on what you're doing on that football field. We all sign up for it. Even guys that play in high school know what it is. Guys in college know what it is. They all sign up for it. But at the end of the day, it's about what you do. Somebody told me that if you want to say what's impossible, you know what I think is damn near impossible? Let me look it up so we can get it. Let me see. Let me see something. It can be done. Watch this. Let me tell you something. Let me see it. All right, let me look this up. I want to do, let me see. Let me get this together now. You know what I think is wild? I think it's wild that LeBron James averages 25 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists a game. And LeBron James is, how old is he? 40. That's impossible. That's impossible, right? Do you know guys that his age? Jordan never made it that far. Kareem never made, Magic never made it to that age. No one has ever been as good, this old, this long, forever. And you know how? Because it's LeBron. He is him, and he spends $1.5 million on his body because that's how he feels about it. While Charles Barkley was eating donuts, LeBron James was eating kale salads. When the rest of these guys was gambling and smoking and drinking for the dream team, LeBron James was out here doing push-ups and climbing mountains on his state-of-the-art gym. You know why? Some people different. Kobe Bryant got every last bit of energy and every last bit of talent out of his body. Kobe isn't as athletic or as talented as Jordan. He's not as athletic and as talented as LeBron. But people still mention Kobe in that area because of what he brings to the table mentally. Mentally, Kobe Bryant was not, all he cared about was ball. You can't I'm getting up every single day. He has this thing that says, I signed a contract. I signed a contract with myself. And I don't care if I get up tomorrow and I don't feel like doing it. You already signed the contract. It doesn't matter what your daughter or your mom or your wife is doing. It don't matter if it's raining. It don't matter if it's sleet or whether my ankle hurt or if I'm tired or if I got a bad attitude today or I feel kind of sad. I'm getting up. I made the contract. I'm getting up and I'm going to put this work in. That's a rarefied mentality. And the problem is we can't see it and you can't see it because you ain't got nobody in your life that ever thought that way. Nobody you knew thought that way. That you like, I would rather die than not put it all on the line. Come on now. I don't think y'all could get listen, I go outside every day. It's just a different era. People was doing football practice and 2 days, literal 2 days. When I came up, they didn't even have no science. They used to tell you water was a privilege. This before people was passing out, dying. They figured out, hey, we might want to offer these players some water because they're severely dehydrated. It's not the fact that they just don't want to do it. People was all in the dark ages back then. But you know what? The mentality is different. I've never seen somebody tell another person who wants to strive and be the best at everything that they want to do to know you don't need to do that. You know what they do in other countries? They doing that. You know what they do with their kids in Korea, Japan? Just going to school one time ain't good enough. You got to go after school, the after school. And they ain't doing reading books. They doing math and science. They doing math and science, and they sitting there like this for 12 hours, not moving. Not because they want to. They're like, I ain't disgracing my family. I ain't disgracing nobody. My mama done worked over here for 14. Listen, she had to work in the rice fields for me to be able to do this. This might be too deep for somebody. But what I'm saying is, why is it now in our country, we want to be the best, don't we? Ain't that what we preach every day? America's the #1 country in the world. That's what we got, that American pride. Well, stop handing citizenship awards out and let people be great. If the man want to play it, let him play it. If you scared, go to church. Find a deacon. This is only for the real. It ain't for everybody. I thought that was cold. I thought it was nice. Maybe a little over the top, but I thought it was nice. With that being said, we appreciate everybody pulling up on the barbershop today. This was a we just having a conversation. You know what I'm saying? Draft is less than 6 days away. You know where to be following this out. But my draft schedule is crazy. I got a lot of different places we're gonna get to. I'm gonna be on Ultimate Browns on these airwaves on Tuesday. Wednesday come up. I got the Bleacher Report on the Bleacher Report app. Thursday is the draft. We doing something big draft night. I don't even know if they announce it, but we're doing a live show 8 to 10. In studio for UCSS. Your boy G. Bush gonna be there. Thursday after that, the next day of the draft on Friday, you know what we doing. We're doing lives again, recap of every round, right? We're gonna get the recaps, right? So if you on these 2 channels, you're gonna be getting them recaps. You're gonna be getting all the stuff. So if you mess with G. Bush, you want the real analysis, come on over here. Come on over here if you don't want the producer all in the videos. You don't want them, taking half your budget. Say I'm playing with you. But we're going to do that. We're going to have a great time. UCSS, Ultimate Browns, on the Bleacher Report app, and on the barbershop. We got it all covered. We're going to be here all week doing our thing, coming up with the draft. With that being said, let's do the shout out. I ain't did this in a while. Where y'all call it? When you take it 453 in here, hit the like button for me. But I need to know where y'all at. I'm going to represent where I'm from. 330 in the building. In Ohio. 234 in the building. The Philippines is in the building, as always. You know what I'm saying? What's the area code over there? Y'all got area codes? No area codes. Apparently, they don't get mail in the Philippines. I don't know. But 216-440. That's what's up, bro. Where you calling from? How we moving? And when you do pull up, here's what I want you to do before we roll out. I want you to say where you from, and then I want you to give exactly who you want. Just the last name of who you want at 2. That's it. Who you want at 2. We're gonna take a roll call. Where you calling from, and who you want at number 2. Just the name. Who gonna start this off for it? I did mine, 216-330, and I got Travis Hunter at 2. What y'all got? Let's keep it pushing. Woo. Let me see. Where we at? Hold on. Here we go. Yup. Yeah, we is. UCSS doing that live drive show. Yep. Let's see. Phil Bowman. What's up, Phil? Phoenix, Arizona is in the building. 440 is in the building. TK says, I listen, I like Hunter, but I know Carter can make the Browns a better team more than Hunter. Okay. You see what it is. Beasley. Okinawa, Japan. That's how you know I wasn't lying. They in school right now in Japan. I'm worldwide. I tell you, they tell me that they in school. 440, Bethel, Connecticut. Phil, what's up? 480, 216 East Cleveland in the building. Fayetteville, I see you. 440, man. Lake George, New York. Sandusky is in the building. 203 Columbus, Ohio. Shout out to 614. You know what it is. Middleburg Heights, man. Ithaca, New York. 202. Philly Eagles walking with you, bro. I appreciate you, man. North Olmsted. Hunter, let's go. 330-216, Hunter. Phoenix, Arizona, give me Hunter. 203, give me Hunter. 619-330 is rocking with Hunter. 937 Hunter. What up, Rob? I see you. Cleveland, Hunter. We got it. 216. Oxford, Ohio. Take Travis Hunter, man. Last year, the offense was able to move the off ball. We have won 9 more games. Well, that's why you got to take Hunter, like John says. Let's get to Hunter. They like him in Japan, too. Indiana, Hunter all day. Cleveland, we go take Kessler, Hunter. Sandusky, Hunter at 2. Travis Hunter's the guy. Youngstown, 216. Hey, Carter, Planet TK, what's up?
Hunter, we see you. We getting everybody in. Mel L, what's up, man? I ain't talked to you about in a minute. Yeah. What we doing? Everybody is moving with Hunter. Everybody is in here all day. I appreciate you, man. We global out here. Appreciate you. Got another super chat too. Y'all are too good to me. Harold G. Bush, hook up with Jake Burns. Y'all are the best in the town. Hey, I didn't shout it. Listen, I done worked with Jake a lot, man. If you want to, he does a really good job on breaking down the film. He does a tremendous job. He has a website. Make sure y'all go check him out. Check him out. 121 Illyria. We taking, they want to take Sanders. 216, Kenton, Sanders, Hunter. We getting everybody in here. If you want to move, let's get it. Last two. Let's get that one. With that being said, I appreciate every one of you guys, man. I appreciate you guys. We'll come back. Like I said, you can catch us all over the airwaves this next couple of weeks, wherever I'm going to be at. And I appreciate you guys pulling up on a Saturday. With that being said, you never know when G. Bush is going to show up. I could be on radio, television, internet. I could be at the barbershop walking around doing all kind of stuff. But if you want the real and you want a fresh take, you don't want that same old stale stuff, you don't want people saying cliches, and you want to keep it a buck, this is the person you should be listening to right here on the barbershop. Have a great rest of your evening. And guess what? As always, go Browns.